140 new cars launched in 2025. Despite some disappointments, I still found cool things. A year ago, I made my first video of the year. I had bet on a new trend that was going to become more and more prominent in the world of automotive design for the year 2025, which had just started, verticality, and since then, here's what we've seen arrive. No, I'm not bragging, though the prediction was risky. I made it knowingly, and fortunately it was correct, so I don't look foolish. As it's the start of the year, I wanted to share my 2026 predictions. Since January 1st, I've been analyzing and writing what we'll review together today. 2024 was full of supercars, so it was tough to compete this year since no major releases were expected. Like the McLaren W1 Bugatti Tourbillon, Stone Martin Vanquish, or Ferrari F80, yet I've heard 2025 was expected to be uneventful. No major models, stagnant car culture, and a predictable motorsport season. Honestly, we had reasons. Tougher laws, bland cars, and constant ecological penalties. For car enthusiasts like me, we have to admit this year brought interesting events and good news. We'll discuss bold ideas, new releases, and a shifting car scene, all bringing surprising news. For a year expected to be disastrous, we still found reasons to stay positive. To clarify, I'm not claiming we've returned to the 60s golden age. However, 2025 was turbulent with both positives and negatives. So here we go. This is the first video of 2026 on the channel. So to start, Happy New Year to everyone. And as you guessed, today we're going to talk about the models that made an impact in 2025 and those that disappeared. Above all, I'll discuss the year ahead and what to expect in the coming months, including my predictions on upcoming and fading design trends on our roads. If we have to start with an overview, I counted about 140 new models that arrived on the market and 45 that were discontinued this year. Among those that are leaving, some won't be replaced in the short term. Like the Jaguar F-Pace, the entire Jaguar lineup had already been discontinued. Little by little, only it was left. This is part of Jaguar's rebirth, as they sold almost nothing this year. Let's say strategically, it's to make a fresh start and start from scratch. Beyond this F-Pace, several iconic models left the stage this year. The Ford Focus, after nearly 30 years of its career, is the strongest symbol of that. The once popular compact car known for its fun ST and rally sport versions, which defined a generation, is being discontinued. This is another major shock. The Nissan GT-R redefined accessible performance by rivaling pricier supercars for nearly 20 years. The Honda Civic Type R from Japan is nearing its end, with the Ultimate Edition debuting in 2025. Its departure shows the slow decline of combustion sports cars for enthusiasts. Meanwhile, the Volkswagen Arteon quietly left the market this year. It carried with it the idea that a beautiful silhouette could still exist at a mainstream manufacturer. For me, it was clearly one of the most beautiful models from Volkswagen, and for the Volvo V90 as well, it's over. The rise of SUVs over station wagons continues, as the BMW M8 was discontinued in 2025. Porsche planned to discontinue the 718 Cayman and Boxster in 2025, but they are expected to return in a new form in 2026. With the gasoline-powered 718S ending in 2025, Porsche made one of its riskiest moves by not just replacing two models. The future electric Boxster and Cayman have been in development for 4 years, and their development is taking much longer than usual. Well, first of all, there's the bankruptcy of their battery supplier Northvolt this year, which forced the brand to revise its plans along the way. But above all, there's extreme caution. Porsche knows it's a risk to make the Boxster and Cayman electric since their identity is based on balance, precision, and connection to the chassis. They designed a specific architecture to maintain weight distribution like mid-engine models, a complex and costly decision. Porsche prolonged their combustion engine's lifespan, as seen with the Spider Rally Sport. They may readapt the electric platform to support combustion engines again in 2027 or 2028. It's a strategic retreat that was once unthinkable, but market reality won out. Demand for electric cars is lacking, and Porsche recognizes this, best shown by the electric Macan. Its commercial reception has been lukewarm, to the point that they're already considering a combustion alternative there as well. Porsche is set to launch its first true electric sports cars, but the market shows demand is much lower than expected. The first major sign is Tesla's pullback in 2025. The American manufacturer delivered just over 1.5 million vehicles, down nearly 9% from 2024. This marks the second straight yearly decline and a historic first. BYD has surpassed Tesla in car sales, delivering over 2.25 million electric vehicles, a 28% increase in 1 year. Now the world's top seller of electric cars, China is clearly becoming the market's center of gravity. I covered this in detail in last year's video and discussed it here. It seems the glass ceiling is hit as Tesla struggles to exceed 500,000 sales per quarter. Some models, such as the Cybertruck, are having trouble gaining popularity, and the goal of 20 million annual sales is no longer mentioned officially. What these numbers show is that demand for electric vehicles has slowed down a lot in Europe and the United States, and global growth is driven exclusively by China, with more affordable vehicles that are renewed more quickly. In 2025, it's clear that electric vehicles are no longer a given, and that has brought one of the best pieces of news of the year. Total ban on the sale of combustion engines in 2035. In my video last year, I explained that the discussion around the end of combustion engines was already starting to fragment and that many brands were quietly adjusting their plans. In December, the framework shifted. The goal remains major carbon dioxide, 2 cuts, but the strict 2035 cutoff has been eased. We're no longer thinking only in terms of all electric or nothing, but finally in terms of a gradual transition. And yes, because with this 100% electric strategy pushed since 2021, the European industry has taken some damage. Electric vehicle sales have grown much more slowly than expected, and industrial constraints, especially threats to jobs, have become impossible to ignore. As a result, Europe has ended up softening its stance. This means hybrid or combustion engines may continue after 2035 under a more flexible framework. And yes, they finally understood that it's not regulations that drive change, but the market. As for this year's new models, there hasn't really been a major revolution among manufacturers, but each new release brings something a little different. Renault's new Clio just arrived, featuring a standout design compared to earlier models. Above all, it establishes a new design language, more graphic, sharper, and less rounded, carried forward by the Renault Filante Coupe SUV. At the other end of the spectrum, the new Slate Auto introduced the Slate Truck, a vehicle notable for its simple design that embraces classic American pickup truck features. But it takes a totally different approach to the things that matter, price and modularity, with a new way of imagining what a car should be. The Slate in its simplest version starts at under $20,000. It includes over 100 modular accessories to customize the vehicle for your needs. Install them yourself or hire a pro. It's like automotive Lego. This pickup has a rugged basic design. It's not a classic desirable car, but a practical, fully configurable tool. It hasn't arrived yet, but in 2025 it's a more innovative and practical approach to cars than any concept. In the United States, the Jeep Cherokee's return has been more conservative. The brand is consolidating its DNA, embracing its volumes and thick surfaces in a market saturated with interchangeable SUVs, and the Cherokee reminds us that a clear identity is better than forced originality. Italy has often produced Europe's sexiest cars. First, the Ferrari Amalfi isn't a departure from the past, but a refinement, less organic, more taut, and a bit more serious. Ferrari updates its style and introduces the brand's new identity to this model, featuring a black bar inspired by the 12 Cilindri. During this process, the Ferrari 849 Testarossa replaced the Scuderia Ferrari 90. It shows the brand can still make an impact with a bold, polarizing design, not just by relying on nostalgia. At year's end, Toyota shocked everyone in the sports car category with the Gazoo Racing GT, an unexpected, bold, and powerful car. The Toyota president requested its creation, wanting a true sports car. Notably, the car features a Gazoo Racing logo instead of a Toyota logo. It's the first car to come directly from Gazoo Racing, Toyota's sports division, and the brand is announcing a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 that should produce at least 650 horsepower. I definitely didn't expect that from Gazoo Racing for 2025. It's a great transition. With the latest in motorsports and Formula 1, the F1 season we just experienced will go down as one of the closest of the modern era. After 24 Grands Prix, Lando Norris won his first world championship in a 10th season finale in Abu Dhabi. The Brit won the championship, just 2 points ahead of Max Verstappen and 13 ahead of teammate Oscar Piastri. I'm happy for Lando. His season's key was consistency. He scored points even while Max won multiple Grands Prix. That mattered, as Verstappen fell just a few points short in the final sprint. Oscar Piastri, who led the championship for most of the season, was his main rival despite Verstappen's strong comeback. He showed that McLaren really had an exceptional pair of drivers. They faced criticism for their team strategy. Meanwhile, Hamilton, Leclerc, and Ferrari struggled through a disappointing 2025 season. And I hope they'll bounce back for the 2026 season, which promises to be even more explosive this year. There's a big rule change and everything will be reshuffled. New engine, new aero, new regulations. It's been a long time since we've had such a big change. In Formula 1, Alpine is entering a new era without a Renault engine. Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez return with a new team needing to prove itself. Cadillac Isaac Hadjar joins Verstappen at Red Bull, aiming to break the second driver curse. Toyota Gazoo Racing is taking up more and more space at Haas, and Audi is finally arriving. In short, lots of new things that are going to entertain us all year long. So I hope, when it comes to production models, what should we expect for 2026? First, the continuation and acceleration of the Chinese offensive. Out of the 140 new models in 2025, nearly 70 will come from China in 2026. This trend will persist in France with brands like Omoda and Jayco entering. The design stands out. For Porsche, 2026 is crucial, as I mentioned. There's the new electric 718, which is already at the center of all the debates. We might finally get the 918 replacement long teased as Mission X to complete the new Holy Trinity. With the F80 and the W1, this model will have to prove that Porsche can still produce a technological pinnacle like the 918, which hasn't aged since its release at BMW. The upcoming M3 will fully adopt the new Neue Klasse identity, already seen on the iX3 and in camouflage test drives. It will be electric and one of Mercedes' biggest reveals this year. We're also getting a major S-Class facelift, which is still rare. On the other end, there's buzz about the Baby Clash G project, expected this year. It will bring the brand's iconic 4x4 design to a smaller urban model. But the real excitement? The teased Aufrecht Melcher Großaspach Gran Turismo 4-door, inspired by this year's Aufrecht Melcher Großaspach Gran Turismo 20 concept, appears in a video with Brad Pitt, Las Vegas, and George Russell. Speaking of sports, the Red Bull RB17 will finally hit the track. For customers who spent €5 million, it's not street legal, but does it mark Red Bull's entry as a car manufacturer? Most importantly, it was designed by Adrian Newey, Formula One's greatest engineer. Alpine has been working for years on its electric A110 to replace the model that revived the brand, while Jaguar is quietly developing a large sedan prototype. It's already been on the road for several months and will be released this year to mark its renewal. We'll definitely talk about it in an upcoming video. Well, now it's time to take a risk. Here are my predictions for automotive design trends in 2026, I believe, and expect that year will finally bring a long-awaited disappearance. The era of big LED bars needs to end. They're overused, widely copied, and now just feel bland. A few years ago, it added modernity to front ends, but now it's standard and lacks identity. I predict this trend will start declining in 2026. On the other hand, I see another trend taking over: the Pixel, with lighting signatures that are increasingly following the Pixel logic. Hyundai is clearly ahead in this area right now, with its front ends and lighting zones that have a digital feel. And I think that in 2026, manufacturers won't just light up a line anymore, but will rather illuminate a whole surface. We've already seen this on several concept cars. It allows for adaptive and customizable lighting signatures to appeal to more customers, or even go as far as displaying messages and making the car feel alive. And the other aspect that I think will be highlighted in the coming months is the return of bold and distinctive designs, with clear identities. Even if some dislike it, the reason is clear. Widespread copying, especially from China, has made generic design useless. When everyone uses the same style, no one stands out. And after years of globalized design, smoothed out to please everyone, we're seeing a return to local identities. I hope brands have understood that customers are tired of everything looking the same. And I think that each brand will go back to what it truly is: its history, its visual culture, its own imagination. We've already seen a bit of this at the Munich and Tokyo shows this year. This is especially evident among Japanese manufacturers, who are bearing the brunt of the Chinese offensive in Asia, their largest market. They no longer have a choice to survive. They have to become distinctive again, even if it means displeasing some people.